U2, Everlasting Love on Virgin Radio. Now, our next guest is an actor, a singer, and an absolute gem of a human. She has haunted our screens quite literally as Alison in the smash hit comedy Ghost for 5 years and has moved into more dramatic roles as of late, including the icy Kate Galvin on Netflix's thriller You and DS Ashley Francis on ITV's brand new Code of Silence. Honestly, 1 minute she's in a period drama with a corset and the next she is dodging serial killers in designer coats. What a range. So pop the kettle on, settle in. Charlotte Ritchie's in the house.
I feel like I should... Is there cheering?
There is cheering. It's not just in your ears.
Okay, cool.
Does it follow you around?
It's good to know that, you can hear it too.
I heard it. Does that happen often?
Just have my own personal internal cheer.
People?
I wish I had a good cheer. And I don't see them in real life. But it would be good, wouldn't it, to have a kind of track in your head that cheered you on.
Little hype girl.
Rather than the kind of like normal...
critical.
Why are you doing that? Yeah,
honestly,
dial the other guys up would be great.
I think I think we have the capacity to do that, don't we?
It feels like if we have the capacity for one, we must have the capacity for the other.
Absolutely, awareness.
Yes.
Are you a meditator?
Do you know what? I have been through. I've tried to, and I think it's really helpful when I do. But getting to it is like such a struggle that I'm like, is it worth it? Of course it is worth it because the bigger the struggle, the more you... But I want to say but the truth is nah.
Oh yeah, I know. You identify as such, you just don't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. A bit like that with yoga. I once bought Jerry Halliwell's yoga video and so I think I'm a yogi.
I think that counts.
I think so too.
Yeah, if you spend money on something, that means you're tied in.
You're it.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk. I mean, there's many places we can go. Shall we start, please, with You? Which sounds to the audience confusing if they're not a fan of the Netflix thriller. Mm-hmm. You were chilly.
Yes, right.
I mean,
me, the character. My character,
Yeah, well, I hope so. Or unless you're Method.
No,
but with this, I feel like that the lines might be a bit murky.
You'd have to speak to the people I work with and their experience. But ideally, I hope I'm not as chilly as the character. I think in the 5th series, she warms right up.
Yeah.
Series 4 was like hardcore chills. And then we're getting into more sort of balmy weather in the 5th series, which was really fun. And I was kind of hoping for that. So that
was that a game changer? Because for anyone who's not familiar with it, it's global kind of... maybe unlikely is not fair, but I think there was a sense that it kind of just had one of those moments that not many do. And you'll interview people and there's lots of hype and there can be the marketing campaign, but you just don't know what's going to be sticky or not. And this, for whatever reason, cut through in quite an upset, like people got obsessed with it.
Yeah, I think, if I could say what it was, the alchemy that kind of makes that happen, then I'd be able to make like so many amazing TV shows.
And it is alchemy, isn't it? Because all the parts can be there, but it's...
Yeah, and I think
timing.
Context and time and where we are culturally really matters too. I think it just... I wonder if a show like that now... Well, I don't know if it was to be premiering now, whether it would have the same reaction. We have a different consciousness now and like talk about, as always, we're like kind of evolving and talking about things as they move. So I don't know, but it just so happens it was huge. But I kind of didn't join it till series 4 when it was already a phenomenon. So that was quite intimidating.
Yeah.
But kind of, it's been amazing. It sort of feels... My biggest takeaway is that you learn a lot facing something as big and kind of scary as that. And I learned so much on that job. And we did, the 5th series is in New York. So I spent the summer in New York last year, which was really amazing, yeah.
And has it changed perception? Because obviously you have had huge success in this country.
I didn't mean to agree, sorry.
No. She was drinking water. She's humble, don't worry. Everything's fine.
I have.
Yes, I'm kind of a big deal. But people will know you and you're very much, but from Fresh Meat to Ghost to Feel Good, there's so much that you've done that's part of we've warm, fuzzy feelings, I feel, around it. But this, I imagine, globally has had a different effect.
Yeah, I think it's hard to gauge because I don't... it's hard to gauge that feeling, really. You sort of notice it just in the way that people behave. Like, I could tell when the 5th series started coming out, when it was about to come out, I would just find that people would look at me for longer than they normally
Okay.
and I think that's just a sort of algorithmic thing. But what's interesting is that lots of audiences are quite divided up. So you find that some people might only know me from that one thing. It's not kind of maybe across all the boards. So it's quite interesting. Yeah. So it kind of shakes it up. But I probably have to go abroad a bit more to tell you whether it is international for me.
Fine. I like that. New York, a problem or good?
Oh, no, it was really nice. Nobody knew me there.
Great.
Yeah, very nice.
I mean, that's kind of the dream in many ways, isn't it, for an actor to have, such iconic, brilliant shows, great work that challenges you in so many directions, but not have the madness. Because I feel like most actors don't really enjoy that side of it.
I think most people don't really. I think it may be in the ideal it is great, but then you see, and I think we're all much more, or at least I'm much more aware of it now. You see videos online of people. I mean, someone like Penn Badgley, he can't walk kind of down the street, and that's. You want to go and have coffee and have a relax.
You want to?
It's lovely. Yeah. It's a pleasure. You're in New York. That's what you want to do.
Yeah. Most people, you're mental if you really want that.
I think it's not. It's a very niche. And honestly, if you want it, enjoy it, because it's a rare thing to enjoy that, I think.
Yeah.
But also, saying that, it's so, what other job? I think of so many of my friends do amazing jobs and nobody comes and watches them and nobody says thanks for doing that or that was great. And they're doing jobs that are probably a lot more useful than mine.
Important jobs.
Yeah, so in a way, it's weird and sometimes strange, but at the same time, it's lovely. Some people are so kind and lovely, and that's
it's nice to have a cheer follow you around. Yes. I think is what you're saying.
Exactly. This is the cheer. We're back to the cheer.
It's back to
and
the
nice
cheer.
Not to have to play your own.
Exactly. Let's talk Code of Silence. Set up the premise. It's on ITV now. You're alongside Rose Ellis Ealing, and. Or I've done that the wrong way around, have I?
Ailing Ellis.
Thank
Do you. Know,
sorry.
I did it. I thought, is that...
She's that's definitely on the right. I'm seeking in... I don't know whether this is word blindness or whether I can excuse it down to something else. Anyway, let's move quickly on from that moment. Set the premise up for us.
Okay, so, Rose plays this young woman who's working in the canteen of a police station, and I play a detective who is investigating a kind of group of, I want to say villains because I keep seeing that word. They're like a crime gang that are getting together, but they are very savvy and they meet in places where it's very hard to monitor them with surveillance and microphones. They meet in wide open spaces, and so we need an interpreter to read their lips from footage that we've gathered of them. And all our interpreters are busy, and I find somebody in the building who has put forward as their skill, because there's staff in the building put forward the different skills they have. And so this lovely woman, Alison, who's played by Rose, comes forward, and I find her in the canteen, and basically she can read lips. She can read lips because she's deaf, and that's been part of her experience, and she's learned it from her lived experience. So she's not trained by the police. She's a kind of civilian, basically, that we draw in, and then we see her get embroiled in this case. She's really good, basically, at this. And she's not just good at reading lips, she's also extremely astute, and she's very brave, and sometimes a bit kind of too brave. And so... yeah, we watch her through the series get embroiled in this gang and become more involved in the case. And she's so great, and it's a great show. I loved working on it, and I'm so pleased people have seemed to really enjoy it.
But also such a brilliant premise as well, because you imagine that those skills are kind of, as you say, almost reverse engineered. You're in the police, we need you to learn how to lip read instead of actually that skill from lived experience, which also I imagine turns up not only the ability, to lip read, but makes you attuned. So like you say, her character is really good because there's probably an attunement to subtle cues that you wouldn't get unless you had to get
totally those. Yeah, and I think from her experience and living as a deaf woman, she is also interpreting. It's not just the lips that move, it's the whole, it's the way people say things, it's their body language, it's the kind of tone of the conversation. So
the nuances
she's got a real,
that would be lost on many people.
And she's the fact that she also happens to be extremely go-getting and brave and really stubborn, and she's also in a kind of situation at work where she's not being paid enough, she's really frustrated, and she is ambitious. So there's this great drive from her to kind of, yeah, that's it.
Brilliant. Love it. The assessment, because it's been a busy year for you, Charlotte.
It's yes,
That one.
Yeah, because it's funny also because I do things like far behind and then they come out similar times. So it can look like I'm really busy, but I'm just sitting around on my arse.
That's fine. That's great. That's what we want. But what a cast. Again, in that kind of psychological thriller, there's like there's a theme, isn't there? But which I think maybe is reflective of the appetite for this type of thing at the moment. But Alicia Vikander, Himesh Patel, Elizabeth Olsen, like an insane cast.
Such a great cast. It was so cool. I loved doing it. I loved the script of that film. I'm just in a kind of extended scene right in the middle of the film where so the premise is that there's this couple, we're quite far in the future in a world where, because of the lack of resources and because everything's sort of burnt out and apocalyptic, there's a kind of haven that exists and people have to be checked and assessed as to whether they can have a child because it drains resources and whatever. Not whatever.
But also many people shouldn't.
right. Well, that's another take on the film, depending on your ideological view. But basically, they have this assessor that comes around, Alicia Vikander, and she puts them through their paces. But it's really dark. Like it gets kind of pretty. Heavy.
Like a bit Black Mirror-y.
Yeah, exactly, totally. But the details of it was so beautiful, and the art department, like the meal that we were eating was all made that Elizabeth Olsen's character had created in this kind of conservatory in her little like bubble that she lives in. So it was like worms and what am I trying to say? Crickets and like mushrooms, and we had to sort of eat those.
Delicious.
It was all right, actually.
Yeah, crickets high in protein apparently.
Yes, yeah. Crunchy, salty and crunchy. But obviously, I'd ideally like everything to sort of work out in a way that's better than us having to eat crickets.
Okay, fine. That's the next gig
for our human. Future.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, who knows?
Just who knows? Sort it out this morning. Yeah.
We'll leave it on that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Charlotte Ritchie. You're an absolute gem. You can find Charlotte pretty much on every platform.
Yeah. Can I have a shout out? Can I say I'm doing a performance with the Aurora Orchestra this evening.
Stop it. Where?
I think it's the Royal Festival Hall. It's the one that's on South Bank.
Royal
South
Festival
Bank
Hall.
Centre.
Yes. What time?
It's at 6 p.m.
6
And
p.m.
they're an amazing orchestra that just do I've got to go.
No. You've 7 seconds. Go.
Okay. The Aurora Orchestra is fantastic. They're on today at 6 p.m. at the Royal Festival.
Beautiful, Charlotte Ritchie.